And that Edgar Wright movie, that's not directed by Edgar Wright. Also, Happy Star Wars Day! Scott Lang, played by Paul Rudd, is a criminal. He burgles stuff. He's a burglar. He was in prison, he gets out of prison, he's got to be like, I want to get back. So, in order to go and see his daughter, he's got to pay child support and do a bunch of other stuff. But first, he's got to get his life together. He just doesn't know. He's a loser. And he ends up stealing the Ant-Man suit that was designed by Hank Pym, played by Michael Douglas. And it's a whole thing. Actually, now that I think about it, the plot to this movie is really complicated, and I don't really want to explain it all, but I think I got what you need. They try to steal a thing. It's a heist movie. And that's something really unique about this movie. It's a Marvel movie, but it's a heist movie. So it's nice that they were able to blend those genres together. One thing about this movie is it's very funny. Just like, almost like Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, every joke hits, and it's all very funny. It's just, there's Michael Pena in this is ridiculously funny, which is weird, because usually a character like this I wouldn't think was funny. He's doing kind of a stereotypical Mexican thing, and it's just, it shouldn't be funny, but the way he does it makes it really, really funny. See, that's how I know the movie's legitimate, is when it takes something that I usually don't like and makes me like it. That's when I know the movie works. Yeah, all the performances are pretty solid in this movie. Paul Rudd's really great as Scott Lang. He's likable, he's funny. He's everything you'd want from Paul Rudd. If you've ever liked Paul Rudd in any movie ever, you'll like this movie. And then Michael Douglas is Hank Pym, this old scientist man who doesn't want people messing with his tech. He was awesome. He'd punch dudes and he'd be like, take that. Really cool because he was old, and whenever there'd be a dude, there was a dude who punched in the face years ago, and then he goes, how's your face? And it was so awesome. You know, Evangeline Lilly as Hank Pym's daughter, she was fine. And then Corey Stoll as the villain, he was fine. Everyone else was just fine, except for Now, Scott's daughter was awesome. She was missing her 2 front teeth. She said funny things. She was so cute. Scott brings her like a scary bunny, and she's like, he's so ugly, I love him. And I was like, oh, that's the best. And then Paul Rudd does the smile. Really, those scenes between Scott and his daughter, those really strengthened the movie for me and gave it that sort of emotional core that it needed. Now, here's some problems. The movie's a little weak. There's a couple pacing issues, but whatever. It's fine. It wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy level where everything was just always funny and always just joyous and creative and everything was just so spontaneous. There were moments. Sometimes the way a scene was colored, it was just a little bit like, yep, that's the scene. Like, it didn't really do anything creative or spontaneous or anything beautiful. In Guardians, you know, you had that great color palette where it was just like every single scene was just lit so beautifully, and you're just like, yes, look at this. I love looking at this. In Ant-Man, that doesn't always happen. There are creative action sequences, but it's not like the whole thing is just completely that way. Now, the action in this movie is good action. He'll go small, he'll go big, and then it'll just be, the perspective of him being small looks really good. But the important thing about this movie is that it's fun. And this movie is very, very fun. It's got lots of really creative sequences. It's really entertaining. Characters where we know exactly what they're thinking. We've got a story and a plot that makes sense. Everyone's motivations make sense. Everything makes sense, and it's not. This movie has really strong structure considering the production problems behind it, and it all just came together fairly well. I'm gonna give Ant-Man an A. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Captain America. Civil War. That's why I've been doing all these Marvel movies, in case you haven't realized yet. That's why. So there you go.